So Sonic the Hedgehog is one of my favourite game franchises. I've been playing Sonic games since I was 3 years old and I got Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive. Yes, I started playing Sonic games so young I practically came out of the womb playing Sonic games. So that's where this video comes in. The purpose of this video is to tell you what I would personally like to see in future Sonic games and how we can avoid having the problems that we had before. Even with my undying love for this literal gaming king, I can recognize the series has some problems. Ever since post-Generations, and honestly a little bit of pre-Generations as well, this series has gone completely downhill. Sonic Lost World, Sonic Boom, Sonic Forces. The only mainline Sonic game that we got that was actually considered good among the majority of the fanbase was Sonic Mania. There are a few problems we get from the most recent Sonic games. Generations was great, but it was super short. You could beat it in one long sitting if you're dedicated enough. Oh, Lost World, Lost World, Lost World. Where do I begin with this? Oh, I have an idea. The game sucks! The Deadly Six are a terrible villain. They each have one character trait that they beat into a pulp. The story doesn't even take itself seriously and it's super apparent. This game is also super short, not to the extent that Generations was, but it's still an unacceptable length. Also, the gameplay design makes no sense to me at least. In this game you travel along a cylindrical platform and you can walk around and perform, but I ask myself, what is the purpose of having a gameplay design like this? Sonic Boom. Need I say more? No, but I will. This game's terrible. Also, these redesigns. Why? They range from minor changes to... Ugh. And the game doesn't even work. The glitches are countless. The story doesn't land its jokes or it's given any build-up or backstory. Sonic Forces is almost just as bad. It has a story that tries to take itself seriously, but it sucked so bad. Logical inconsistencies, bland writing and other problems. The gameplay has no sense of speed either. Modern Sonic is slow. Sonic the Hedgehog is slow. Classic is just forced into the game for no reason. He doesn't need to be here. Also, the avatar is literal new protagonist stereotype. This game tries a new style before it perfects the one they were just finished developing. Also, the game is too short. My friend played it for the first time ever and his first ever playthrough only took 5 hours. So, what do y'all think of Sonic Riders? I love the two Sonic Riders games. No, I'm pretty sure there's just 2. They're a unique set of racing games. Unlike in Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing, instead of go-karts, the characters use hoverboards. How is the gameplay here different? Well, before a race even starts, you need to back up and run towards the start line. The closer you cross the line to the word go, the more of air or your gravity gauge is filled. More on what those mean later though. Firstly, jumping off ramps. In the first game, the more tricks you do in the air will fill up your air gauge. In the second game, your jump is dependent on how close you press the jump button at the end of the ramp. In the first game, you can give yourself boosts if you have something in your air gauge. You can also collect rings that are scattered up along the track to increase the capacity of your air gauge up to level 3. So what does air do? Well, air is what empowers your extreme gear. When you run out of air, you're forced to run on foot until you get more air. So while it's a racing game, you need to make sure you conserve air while staying in first place, because once you run out of air, you're most likely going to drop a few places. In the second game, you have a gravity gauge to keep an eye on. You use the gravity gauge to take sharp turns and use the new mechanic, Gravity Dash. Gravity Dash allows certain characters to burst through the air, and if you hit an obstacle, you recover a little bit of your gravity gauge and get a boost. In the second game, you can collect rings scattered along the track to level up your extreme gear and use character type abilities, which is something both the Riders games have. Speed characters can grind rails, flight characters can fly through boost rings, and power characters can punch obstacles out of their way. Okay, enough explaining how the games work. On to the purpose of the video and why I think we should get a new one. I don't think I need to tell you, despite being really fun, Team Sonic Racing is not the most impressive of the modern kart racers due to the lack of post-release content. As well as that, ask anyone who's a fan of the Sonic Riders games and they'll say that they missed the series. So I'd love to see a return to this gameplay type. I propose maybe a Switch or even PS4/5 and Xbox collection of the old games. Or, since they seem to want to blend motion controls into Riders, why don't we get a new Riders game on the Switch using their motion controls? Unfortunately, after the one we don't talk about, I don't think Sega and Sonic Team want to take a chance on Riders after. One day. I love Sonic Adventure 1. It's actually my favorite game of all time. Even now, I get waves of nostalgia every time I go back and play it. And years later, I went and played Sonic Adventure 2 when I had a strong enough laptop. I tried out Sonic Adventure 2, and while I didn't love it as much as Adventure 1 thanks to nostalgia, it's still an amazing follow-up in my opinion. Yeah, I prefer Sonic Adventure 1 to Sonic Adventure 2. I expect no fighting in the comments over this. This game was so amazing because as the first Sonic 3D platforming game, it was amazing for the time it came out in. It has 6 playable characters with all their own story arcs and goals. Sonic is chasing Eggman to stop this new Chaos monster. Tails wants to gain courage so he can be more like his hero who is Sonic. Knuckles is looking for pieces after the Master Emerald after it got broken. Amy's helping a baby bird find its family. E102 aka Gamma, Eggman's new robot, is trying to learn right from wrong. And Big is, well... Sonic Adventure 2 also has a captivating story, except this one's more overarching and intertwined. Eggman uncovers the secret weapon his grandfather made. It's the ultimate life form, which is a black and red hedgehog called Shadow. The military mistakes Shadow for Sonic, and Sonic's arrested on Prison Island. Tails and Amy break out Sonic, and Eggman's on the island at the same time trying to steal Chaos Emeralds with Shadow and Rouge, who is searching for Master Emerald pieces at the same time as Knuckles is, as it's broken again. Eggman takes the Chaos Emeralds they find to the space colony to blow up the moon and the heroes chase after him. Then hijinks and shenanigans ensue. In Sonic Adventure 1, all the characters have a different gameplay style. Sonic has classic reached the end, but now it's in 3D. Tails is a race level, Knuckles is radar treasure hunting, Amy is escape stalker levels, Gamma's being a shooter with the higher combo you get the more times added, and Big is... Where's the Big? Sonic Adventure 2 follows this trend, except not to the same degree. Sonic and Shadow have classic reach the end levels. Knuckles and Rouge have treasure hunting. Tails and Eggman are in control of a giant mech, which is similar to Gamma's gameplay style from Sonic Adventure 1. So, why do I think we need another Sonic Adventure game? Well, the story for starters. Every character's story plays one part into a larger plot, meeting at one pivotal point at the final boss where you play as Super Sonic, and the same goes for SA2. Both team stories lead to one point and you do the final boss as Super Sonic and Super Shadow. Since later Sonic plots have been, you know, more like...
No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me!
We need a story that takes itself seriously. The only plot that took itself close to serious was Forces, but in that game the plot was flawed from the start. Also, with the amount of people entering the franchise through the Sonic movie, why would you not want to market a good game that can tell a good story? Why would you not want to remake one of the most serious games being SA1 or SA2? Which is why I believe we should get some style of adventure game, or a remake of SA1 or SA2. We should remake the adventure games for the reasons of keeping new fans and retaining the old ones, because if you're looking for a story, colors isn't it. Speaking of stories, my next idea is... If it wasn't clear from one look on my channel, you could tell that RPGs are my favorite video game genre. I'm a huge fan of many RPGs, from Persona to Kingdom Hearts to Final Fantasy and many others under this genre, but if I continue to list more RPGs we'd be here all day, so I'm just going to cut this list short. After the shit show that was Sonic Chronicles, we were never given another Sonic RPG. I'm sensing a pattern. It's like a game series flops so hard and then Sega's scared to touch it again. Anyways, you can tell we were meant to get more Sonic RPGs as well, because they titled it Sonic Chronicles instead of Sonic Chronicle. So the game flopped so tremendously bad that they actually scrapped the rest of the series they were planning for this. Oh well, maybe it was for the best. Sonic Chronicles wasn't exactly what the kids called a good game, so... I'm really upset Sonic Team never touched another Sonic RPG. A lot of unique things could have been done with it. Since Sonic is a character that's so reliant on his speed, we could have him like pull off quick combos and be able to dodge enemies really easily. We could have like Knuckles be a really offensive character but is really slow in contrast. We could also have like Amy and Cream be magic wielders. I think it'd be really cool. But no, alas, Sega is scared to touch things that have failed once. Finding a company shouldn't even be that hard either. Sega owns Atlus, and if you don't know who they are, they're the creators of the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series, just to name two of their big sellers. Why wouldn't Sega just get Atlus to make a game for them with the Sonic franchise? It would probably sell really well. Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal sold a shit ton of copies, and as well as that, trailers for SMT5 have been really well received, specifically the new one revealed at Nintendo's E3 Nintendo Direct. This isn't the first time a Sonic RPG idea has been tossed around. Sega originally planned for Adventure 1 to be an RPG, and then Chronicles came which was actually an RPG, and we don't talk about this. It doesn't even need to be an RPG that has, as the Persona fanbase calls it, Persona DNA. I just think Atlus are able to make competent RPGs, and they could do really well if they were given the rights of the Sonic franchise to make RPGs. Whatever, I'm not a game developer, so I'm not going to drone on about a topic I can't pad out for much longer. I figure since I haven't talked much about platformer ideas, which is what the Hedgehog was known for, I suggest a platforming game next. I figured what better place to start than the well-received Sonic Rush Trilogy. For people who don't know what I'm talking about when I say the Sonic Rush Trilogy, I'm referring to 3 games on the DS. Sonic Rush Adventure, and the DS port of Sonic Colors. They're referred to as the Sonic Rush Trilogy because all 3 of them have very similar gameplay styles. Sonic Rush Trilogy are 2D platforming games. So how are they different to the classic Sonic games? Okay, well to be perfectly honest, they do have similarities. They both have spin meshes, special stages, 2D levels designed in the same way as the classic games, but I feel like the Sonic Rush Trilogy enhances the classic Sonic gameplay formula. So in the Sonic Rush Trilogy you have the boost. After thinking long and hard about it and watching a video one of my friends made, I realized I don't actually like the boost all that much. The reason I don't like the boost is because it renders the gameplay of Sonic pointless. Enemy placement, level design, skills in the platforming section, all pointless with the boost. Rush, I feel like, actually enhances this and solves this problem. In Rush, you perform tricks. You perform them anytime you go off a ramp, and these tricks increase your boost gauge. So, meaning you need to slow down and perform tricks so that you're able to boost. Because if you don't do tricks, the only way you can increase your boost gauge is by defeating enemies, and that alone won't be enough. Some levels won't actually allow you to beat them without performing tricks because the jump is too high. So in short, you need to earn your boost in the Sonic Rush games. Because if you don't slow down and do tricks, you don't boost. It's as simple as that. I feel like the levels in Sonic Rush are really solidly designed. They do something that was done in the classic Sonic days, and have multiple platforms on different levels. So that way if you're better at the platforming, you can go on a higher level, which is shorter, so you can finish the stages quicker. As well as that, the layout and environments. No 2 zones feel the same. So you feel like you're doing something different in each zone because there's a new gameplay gimmick in each zone. In Sonic's story at least, the first level is pretty grind rail heavy, the second has water pumps that launch you into the air, and the 4th zone uses advantages of light and dark, and so on. Some of the newer Sonic games seem very reliant on the boost as if it needs to be a part of the formula. Firstly, it doesn't because the adventure games don't have a boost and they're amazing. Also, we've proven that the boost can be worked well. It's in Sonic Rush. So why don't we have a game that actually enhances boosting by making you earn it with the trick system? Because honestly, thinking back, I don't think I've ever heard a single fan complain that the Rush Trilogy is 2D, only talking about how good it is and why I feel like we should get a 4th entry. Either way, I think I've talked enough about this. Moving on. So to be honest, I couldn't think of a lot of ideas on my own. This is when I turned to Twitter and some of my friends who are also into Sonic fandom, and some of them suggested another racing game, but this time we include the boost and include races from all across the Sonic franchise. I really like this idea because what if we do another on-foot racer like... I feel... It's at the back of my head, I feel like this happened before and... Oh yeah, that's right, you failed and oh my god, it's this goddamn pattern I mentioned! Okay, joking aside though, why don't we have more on-foot racers? It's something that makes sense, and like... I suck at analogies, okay? The reason R failed is because it controls like hot garbage. The controls are way too sensitive for a racing game, but to give Sonic team some credit, that was their first attempt at a racing game. As well as that, it was the first racing game they did in 3D. If the devs were to give another shot, I bet it would sell really well. It would also stop some of those toxic Sonic fans from saying, Sonic Trilogy driver car is sure unnatural. He just wants a fair race, guys. What is so hard to understand about that? Okay, it's not that hard to understand. Okay, halt this. I'm going on a rant for a second. Okay, Team Sonic Racing, I love you, I really do, but do you really need 3 tracks from Colors, 3 tracks from Unleashed Ice levels, 2 rooftop run levels, 3 from the final levels of Heroes, 3 from the casino levels of Heroes, 3 from Heroes opening levels, and then 4 random tracks which I can only pin a game to one of them? Yeah, does this feel too samey to like anyone else? This is brings me on to my next point, which is why don't we take tracks from all across the series? I mean, hell, Sonic Adventure 2 never got a racing track and it has tons of places that would work. Mission Street, Radical Highway, maybe even Prison Island if you wanted to do that. As well as that, why don't we talk about the storybook games? Like, hell, those two could work really well. They have amazing tracks that would work on this racing game, I feel like. I feel like this type of racing game could work really well if Sonic Team played their cards right. You know, make the controls solid, make it fun to play, take tracks across the whole Sonic series, not just the games that sell, because then you have a Team Sonic racing problem, where you have too many karts, or like kart racing tracks from one section of the Sonic franchise, and then everything else gets ignored. Like, I love Team Sonic Racing to death, but oh my god, it feels so samey a lot of the time because we have so many tracks from the same location, like it's not needed really. Okay, thank you guys so much for checking out this video of me. I know this is a lot more opinionated than my last video, I do apologize a bit for that, but I really wanted to make this video because with the more and more release of Colors footage, I wanted to remind people of the type of games we could have instead of the games we're going to be getting from what it seems like for quite a while. So this is a bit more opinionated than the other scripted video I did on the Crash retrospective. I do apologize for that, but I did want to make something a bit more opinionated than that, and so yeah, these aren't facts. Well, some are facts, but this is a bit more opinion-based than the last video I did. So sorry if opinion-based stuff is not your thing. I do want to kind of have a mix, a bit of opinion stuff and a bit of actual just factual stuff. But I hope this is something you enjoyed regardless. Please let me know in the comments. The Crash video did really well, so thank you to all you who commented, liked, and shared it. Seriously, it means the world to me that so many of you liked that video, and I hope you like this one as well. I do have more Sonic. I do have Sonic stuff coming. I have other series stuff coming. So thank you guys for checking me out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.